Hello and welcome to Generative Geek. I'm your host Vaibhav Pandey, and today's episode is about loading documents to form knowledge base for your project from YouTube, from Hacker News. Oftentimes the question is that, hey, you know what, we have a lot of content within our company, within our knowledge base, but we also need content from outside world. So maybe there are a lot of interesting YouTube transcripts available, or there's a lot of discussion going on around maybe a competitor product or your own product, and you want to ingest all of that knowledge as well. So how do you go about picking that knowledge and loading it using LangChain? That's the focus of my video today. Let me show you the LangChain page for these two documents. So when you go to LangChain, if you go within components to document loaders, you can find a lot of loaders that are available. A lot of them are third-party loaders. Today, I'm largely focusing on Hacker News. So you can see there's Hacker News, there is Gutenberg, there is a lot of Google's speech-to-text audio transcripts, a lot of stuff like IMDb, and all of that. So let's just pick Hacker News. It has Reddit and all that, right? So Mastodon. And this page basically will show you how to work with this loader, right? So, and I'll show you the actual code in a while. Now, within this thing, if you look at it, you will also find YouTube, right? So there's also weather and all of that. Very interesting loaders available. So YouTube transcripts is the other loader. We're going to pick a YouTube URL, something like this, and then ingest the transcripts from that, right? So without any further ado, now let's get into the coding part of it. So now I have this notebook open in front of me and my environment is ready, right? So as part of the environment, you right now only need LangChain and LangChain underscore community. So if you don't have, maybe, go to your terminal, do a pip install, like a pip install LangChain. And if you already have LangChain, you will see that, it shows that maybe it has started doing something, successfully installed a few things. um, I don't know, maybe I did not have it installed. And then you need to have LangChain hyphen community. This is where all of your community loaders are available. Requirement is already satisfied. So once your packages are installed, now let's just get started, right? So what we'll do is we'll pick from LangChain. First, let me just add a few comments here so that it is clear to you what I'm trying to do. So first things first, we'll work with YouTube loader. YouTube loader from LangChain. We're first working with that. Uh, we'll give the YouTube loader a YouTube URL, something that we want to work with, and then ingest those transcripts, right? So from LangChain underscore community dot document loaders, this is where your community loaders are available. Most of the loaders that we were seeing earlier are available here. What LangChain has done is, like, if you were, let's just say, scraping some of these websites and bringing the content, LangChain has basically allowed a framework or built a framework where they are like, hey, you know what, bring content from anywhere, but we are going to call the content, whatever you bring, as a document. So these are documents that get built once you use their document loader. That's why it's called a document loader. Whether you are ingesting a WhatsApp chat, or you are ingesting something from Reddit or from X, or from, maybe in our case, like Hacker News, YouTube, they're all documents, right? So once you have that, you go out and define a loader, right? So what is a loader? A loader is nothing but an instance of the class that we imported. In case of YouTube, like we saw on this screen, let me just expand this so that you get a sense, right? So what we do is we say from LangChain community dot document loaders import YouTube loader. So I'll just copy this, come back here, and that's what we have done. From LangChain document community document loaders import YouTube loader. Next, if you look at it, it says YouTube loader dot from YouTube URL, and then you give a YouTube URL. So let's just do that, right? So YouTube loader dot from YouTube URL. Now you are supposed to give a YouTube URL, right? So let's just say URL is equal to, and I'll just quickly bring up a URL that I'm working with. just for the argument's sake, right? So maybe I'll just bring in this YouTube URL, right? So we'll give in the URL, and next what we'll do is once the URL is available, we'll also give it another optional parameter, which is add video info. We'll say we don't need video info right now. There are two other optional parameters called language, and here you can specify the language in which you want the videos transcript, right? So the way it works is YouTube has videos in various languages, so it is going to find the language English and pick the transcript from there. And then you have another optional parameter which says translation. So let's just say if the video was not available in English, it'll pick it in its own home language, whatever is the original language, and from there it is going to make an attempt to translate it to English. So this is what this document loader does, right? And then what we are going to call is, we are saying, hey, documents is equal to loader.load. So this is something that you will find is the, sorry, something happened. Okay, it needs another library called YouTube Transcript API. I think this is what it uses to do the scraping. So we're just going to quickly install this library. Now that's also installed. Once this is installed, I'll just again rerun, uh, and it should be able to get the document. Now if you want, like, I can just quickly print the document, and you can see there's a lot of text available there. Now this video is probably just a single video, and I can just see single video in the sense there are no speakers, right? There's only one speaker who's just talking about things, and therefore the document length is one. But had I picked something, maybe let's just pick the YouTube video that they have in their example. Yeah. So here what I'll say is, I'll say URL is equal to this, and now, oops, I'm sorry, we'll do the same code that we did here. We are going to call the loader. We're going to define the loader with the URL, and we're going to say, hey, documents. Now if I do a len of documents, okay, again here also I think it's the same thing, but the idea is that if you print, you will see that there are no two speakers here. But if you have two speakers, usually there are multiple documents that come out, right? So never mind, we'll find one such video maybe later. Otherwise, now that you have these documents, the way to print these documents is, or because if in case if this was a list, right, of documents, then the way to do it is for doc in documents, just go out, print doc. And if you look at this content here, you will see that within document there's something called page underscore content. So you go out and you print page underscore content, doc dot page underscore content. Print new line. That's just my way of formatting it. Maybe I'll also add a few extra breakers, right? Something like into 10, right? So I'm just going to print this. Now, if this was like a multi-speaker thing, you would have seen these lines come up more frequently, but because this is probably one single document, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Pascal and all of that, right? So this is how you get your YouTube videos, right? Maybe we can pick another one next time, and you will understand. You can just try it yourself of how it works, right? So now let me just quickly walk you through how the Hacker News loader works. So for same way, what we'll do with Hacker News, we'll first import the loader. So from langchain underscore community dot document underscore loaders, this is where all your community document loaders are available. We'll import HN loader, right? So once this import is done, what we need is a Hacker News link, right? So let's just quickly go and say Hacker News. We'll go to Hacker News and we'll pick whatever is of interest, right? So maybe open sourcing DOS 4. Wow, interesting, right? So I'll just, you click on this link 12 hours ago, and this gives you a URL. Pick that URL, come back to your coding environment, and say URL is equal to whatever is the URL, right? So I've not yet seen what the link is, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and load this using the loader. So you will say HN loader, what we just imported, and it requires beautiful soup. So BS4 if you don't have, and I'm not sure if my environment has it, we'll know if the error shows up, right? So if you remember, this is how it works, right? You define a URL, you define a loader, and then loader data is nothing but loader.load. Now, this data is nothing, is basically all this list of documents, right? So within these documents is your content. So let's just load this and see what happens. Yeah, I get an error. It says no module name BS4. So let's quickly go back to the terminal, do a pip install BS4, right? So pip install BS4, all done. Now let's see what happens, right? So it's doing its work. Hopefully it will get the content and the loader will work. The way to see it is, let's first quickly see what is the data. We get back 211 items, same like the way I did earlier. I'm just going to do the same thing. This is the beauty of having like a structured way of doing things, where now every loader will give you a document, and you can write reusable code downstream, right? This might not be very true for very few third-party loaders, but most of the loaders will work the same way, right? So for doc in documents, print doc.page content, you want to see whether it's page content or something else, we can maybe just print the first data item, right? So print data 0, right? So let's just see what it has. It has page underscore content. So we know that this code should ideally work. So print this. We get back a lot of stuff. Maybe this was a very, very popular page with a lot of comments and all that. Okay. I think I went two up. Yeah. Pavlov, when I was 9 years old, I liked Word and all that, right? So did it not print everything? Oh no, this is data 0, right? Sorry. Documents, data 0. Sorry, this is data, this is not documents. I should have named it documents. Documents, and call it documents 0. And now it should work. Yeah. So you see, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to print all of the stuff that is coming in. So you see, this is how it is getting printed, right? My favorite hex editor hack was when I cracked the Windows software and all of that. If you go back to the Hacker News article, this is what it says, right? When I was 9 years old, I liked poker. My favorite hex editor hack was this, and a lot of content, right? And all of that content is now available here. So this is it, guys. This is how you basically go out and load your Hacker News stuff. This was it. I hope you learned something interesting and new. Do comment, like, subscribe if you enjoyed this article.